Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. We like to think that the city we live in is safe and secure, that our homes, possessions, and loved ones aren't in danger of being taken from us. Do you think you're safe in your current city? Well, if your hometown is anywhere on this list of the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States, we have some bad news for you. Don't go packing up just yet. At least not until you subscribe to Top 10 Archive and click the bell for future notifications. Was your city not on this list? Why not give the video a thumbs up? Have an issue with your city's placement on this list? Let us know in the comments. Then, take it up with the FBI. The contents were estimated based off the current crime data found on neighborhoodscout.com and looking at cities with populations over 25,000 people. Number 10. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis just hasn't been the same since the departure of the king of rock and roll, I assume at least. I mean, taking into consideration the gap in time between his death and today and the trends of society, one would think Memphis isn't as safe as it was in the 70s. Regardless, today, within the year, the good people of Memphis have suffered over 48,000 total crimes, more than 37,000 of which were property crimes. The 655,000-plus residents of the birthplace of rock and roll have a 1 in 57 chance of being shot, stabbed, raped, maimed, beaten, or robbed. Thank you very much. Number 9. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham is certainly an interesting and colorful city, and if not for your 1 in 57 chance of falling victim to a violent crime, I'd say everyone should visit. Or maybe I just don't want to incur the southern wrath of the city's 212,000 residents. Property in Birmingham has a higher chance of being victimized than a person, with 65 out of 1,000 properties falling victim to crime within the past year. Within the year, the city saw a total of 17,625 violent and property crimes. Number 8. Detroit, Michigan. Nothing against anyone that lives in Detroit, but only number 8? Well, it's certainly not the safest place to live, but definitely far from the most dangerous. Still, if you can steer clear, it's recommended, so you can avoid being among the 7,599 assault cases reported. Within the past year, 11,897 violent crimes were recorded, meaning 17 out of every 1,000 residents fell victim to an assault, murder, robbery, or rape. Even the rate of property crimes is lower than expected at 1 in 24. Still, compared to safer cities, that sounds like a terrifying number. Number 7. Bessemer, Alabama. Bessemer's population of almost 27,000 people may not have to look over their shoulders at every turn, but at a chance of 1 in 56 for becoming the victim of a violent crime, maybe it's time to put the house up for sale. If you're a Bessemer resident and have something of value on your property, you may want to lock it up, as you have an estimated 1 in 10 chance of having your property vandalized, stolen, or damaged. Number 6. St. Louis, Missouri. Major cities tend to have a higher rate of crime than more suburban locations, especially one with a population of over 300,000 people. 25,853 crimes may sound astronomically high, but it's actually comparable to smaller cities. You'll find later in this archive that some populations have a 1 in 30 chance of becoming the victim of a violent crime. Residents of St. Louis face a possibility of 1 in 55. That, however, doesn't account for property crimes, which is a much more discouraging chance of 1 in 16. Number 5. Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware as a state may be on the smaller side, but the city of Wilmington's population of almost 72,000 knows that, in the case of crime statistics, size doesn't matter. 1 in 55 Wilmington residents is at risk of falling victim to a violent crime, while 1 in 18 is at risk of suffering crime to their property. Just to make Wilmington sound even scarier, there are an estimated 414 crimes per square mile. Of course, we'd be promoting fear tactics if we didn't clarify that that's barely 17 square miles. Number 4. Camden, New Jersey. Now, just so you know, I'm being paid to say this, but Top 10 Archive writer Mark wants me to say, Jersey sucks, New York rules. Totally not my opinion, I swear. My mama's from New York. I have her eyes, don't I? Our writer's personal opinions and the New York-New Jersey rivalry aside, it does look like at least one city in the Jersey Bird could use a little tending to. Sporting a crime index of 4 out of 100, with 100 being the safest, Camden's population of just over 76,000 people suffered around 4,382 violent and property crimes over the past year. As for violent crimes, residents of Camden have a 1 in 50 chance of falling victim to the actions of another. Sorry, Jersey. Maybe Mark's right. Number 3. Alexandria, Louisiana. If you were to meander around Alexandria, Louisiana, according to the violent crime statistic, you'd have a 1 in 48 chance of becoming the victim of an assault, robbery, rape, or murder. At 802 assaults, 7 murders, and 11 rape cases within a year, life for Alexandria's some 47,000 people may get a little stressful. Though violent crimes are a problem in Alexandria, it's your property that you really need to watch out for. Within a year, there were just below 85 property crimes per 1,000 residents. Number 2. Monroe, Louisiana. I mentioned earlier a scaled crime index that goes up to 100. The higher the number, the safer the city. So when I tell you that Monroe, Louisiana has a crime index of 0, you can probably guess how grave the situation is. Residents in Monroe have a 1 in 38 chance of being a violent crime victim. And for a population of near 50,000, those are some very scary numbers. When it comes to property crime, that figure is even scarier at 1 in 12, with over 3,182 cases of theft reported in a year. Number 1. East St. Louis, Illinois. Per 1,000 residents, the state of Illinois has a crime rate of 3.84. The city of East St. Louis is closer to a rate of 33 per 1,000 residents, which means your chances of becoming victim of a violent crime is 1 in 30. If you're stuck living in East St. Louis, you might want to move a little further east in the city to Edgemont, which is reportedly safer. Annually, East St. Louis suffers from over 880 violent crimes, 19 of which were murder and 42 were cases of rape. Assault charges topped off at around 680 cases, which is about 2% of the population. Thanks for watching. Were you surprised that some of the cities mentioned were on this list? What do you think are the major contributing factors for such high crime rates in these places? Are you from one of these cities? Maybe you have some positive things to say about your town. Let us hear from you in the comments. Remember, it's always safe to subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications of new videos, and to give this video a thumbs up.